The man picked up a pencil, aiming right at his brother's eye, just as he was about to stab. The pencil lead suddenly broke. After making sure his brother was asleep, the man finally left the room. But what he didn't know was that his brother was just pretending to sleep. The brother secretly followed him out and was surprised to see that the man, who used to limp, could suddenly run, and he didn't need his thick glasses anymore. What was going on? His brother, named Kim, is a beloved university professor. The younger brother, Lee, has been rejected 10 times and never made it into college because of all the stress. He has to take medicine every day. They used to get along well. But one day, Kim was suddenly taken away by some mysterious people. Lee wrote down the license plate number, but the police told him that the number couldn't be found.
아니요, 확실해요. 07조에 8911이요.
A month went by, and there was still no clue from the police. But Kim came back on his own. When people asked where he had been, he couldn't remember at all. Since then, Kim would disappear in the middle of the night, and the left leg that was limp before was now the right leg. Lee felt something was wrong, so he secretly followed Kim into an alley where these gangsters called Kim Boss, and they looked just like the policemen from a few days ago. Just as Lee was puzzled, someone suddenly appeared behind him and knocked him out. When he opened his eyes again, he was back at home, and Kim was lying in bed. Lee, scared, hid in the bathroom. Kim said it was all just a dream. After Kim left, Lee stepped out with a 50-meter-long iron pipe, but was suddenly tackled by his brother.
샤프심, 네가 탔던 택시 널 뒤쫓던 그 남자들 전부 다 실제로 있었던 일이 아니라고. 너 약 먹었어? 어제.
Then his little brother remembered when he was taking his medicine yesterday. The pill fell under the table. Could it all just be a dream? But after Kim left, Lee suddenly found that pencil lead from before. Lee told everything to his mom. Mom got very worried after hearing it all. But later that night, he accidentally overheard his mom on the phone. Lee was so scared he backed away, but made a noise by accident to avoid being found by his mom. He climbed out the window and followed the pipe back to his room. He made it back to bed just before his mom came in, but when she pulled back the covers, his face, wet from the rain, gave him away. Hearing the door close, he sat up, relieved, only to find that his mom hadn't left at all. Lee quickly escaped through the back window, but as soon as he ran out the door, he ran into his dad who had just come home, and a stranger appeared behind him. He pushed his dad and ran. His mom shouted, and the stranger started chasing him. They ran over 100 blocks, and just as the man was about to catch him, a passing motorcycle suddenly appeared and knocked the man down. Lee seized the chance to escape again. He ran into a patrolling police car, so the man turned and left. Lee was finally safe. He went back to the police station with the cops and told them about his experience. But when he told the police he was 21,
몇 년도인데 77년생이 21살이요?
Lee had always been told by his family that it was 1997, but the police told him to look at the calendar himself. The calendar clearly showed the year 2017. He turned to look in the mirror and saw that he was a 40-year-old man. He touched his wrinkled face, wondering why did he always think he was 20? Why were his family all pretending? With all these questions, he went back to the house he had just escaped from. Maybe only those so-called family members could tell him the truth. But as soon as he entered the house, he saw a model lying on the floor, covered in blood, with a knife next to it. Just then, his brother walked in, followed by his parents. They finally told him the truth. 20 years ago, in this very room, a mother and daughter were brutally murdered. Though it got a lot of police attention, they never found the killer. The case was forgotten when it exceeded the statute of limitations. But the only surviving son never forgot. When he grew up, he started investigating on his own. After 10 years of investigation, he finally found the killer. But no matter how he tortured him, the killer never confessed, because he had amnesia. Kim didn't want amnesia to be the killer's get-out-of-jail-free card. He wanted Lee to remember everything, and then get revenge. So he consulted a hypnosis expert, who guessed that during that time, the killer experienced something so painful that his subconscious erased those memories. To make him remember, he had to go back to before the crime, to 1997. So Kim started giving Lee psychiatric drugs and hypnotized him. He pretended to be his brother and got the hypnosis expert and actors to pretend to be his parents. They successfully made Lee's mind go back 20 years. and moved into the old house where the crime happened. They acted like a real family, until they finally waited for a rainy night just like the night of the crime. Kim's plan fell apart when the police found out he was in a gang and arrested him on his way home. To avoid suspicion, Kim had his men pretend to be police and go to the house to investigate, while he used his connections to get bail. But being taken by the police made Lee suspicious of him. Now that the plan was exposed, Kim decided to just kill him. But Lee believed he hadn't killed anyone, so he jumped out of the car. Kim turned around to chase him, but crashed because he was going too fast. Kim, knocked out by the crash, could only watch Lee walk away. But just as Lee turned around, he was hit by a truck. In the hospital, while being treated, memories from 20 years ago flashed in his mind. Back then, his family was on a road trip when they got into an accident. His parents died in the crash, and his brother fell into a deep coma. The doctor told him his brother needed surgery right away, but Lee had no money. So he decided to post online that he would do anything to get the money. Soon, he got a response, but he didn't expect the request to be to kill someone. He sat at his computer all day and finally called the number. On a rainy night, he went to the address the person gave him. He was only supposed to kill the mother, not the two kids. He opened the bedroom door and saw the mother and her children. He thought of his own mom and didn't want them to feel that pain, so he decided not to do it. But as he was leaving, the mother woke up. She screamed, waking up her daughter upstairs. Both the mother and daughter screamed. Lee, scared of the noise, panicked and worried they'd call the police. He pushed the mother away and ran after the daughter. When he forced the door open, he and the daughter fell, and the knife accidentally stabbed her. When the mother woke up, her daughter was already dead. She screamed. Lee, already scared and confused, heard the scream he feared most. In a moment of madness, he attacked the mother with the knife. When he came to his senses, the mother was dead. As he was about to leave, a little boy called out to him. The boy asked where his mom was. Lee lied, saying she would be back when he woke up. Lee ran away in panic, but then saw the family photo. The husband was his brother's doctor. The doctor, in debt from gambling, planned to kill his wife for insurance money. But when his daughter was accidentally killed, he decided not to keep his promise and stopped treating Lee's brother. The doctor tried to kill Lee for revenge. They fought, and in the chaos, the doctor fell from the roof. Lee tried to catch him, but couldn't hold on. Seeing so much death made Lee almost lose his mind. As a way to protect himself, he lost all his memories. When Lee woke up again, the only person there was Kim. Full of hatred for him, Kim decided to stop looking for the truth and just get revenge for his family. Lee suddenly started apologizing. When Kim found out Lee remembered everything, he began asking questions. Kim had just learned from his men that his father bought life insurance for his mom before she died. With his gang background, Kim didn't believe it was just a coincidence. He wanted to know if his mom's death was really planned by his dad. Lee didn't want anyone else to get hurt, so he lied to the boy in front of him, just like he did years ago. But Kim could see the truth in Lee's eyes. A few minutes later, Kim jumped from the building. Lee injected poison into himself. This tragedy, lasting 20 years, finally ended. When the truth comes out, can people really face it? Kim had once asked Lee why he didn't kill him 20 years ago. Even though he survived, he had no family left. Revenge became his only purpose in life. But the real person he should have avenged was his father, who was already dead. In this tragic story, how can the cycle be broken? Maybe the answer lies in that first decision. What do you think of this movie? Share your thoughts in the comments. This is Snail Movies. See you next week.